Today I will be teaching you how to create a highline system. A highline system is used for crossing ravines and areas of elevation that would be more difficult to go down, cross, and then climb, so it's easier to just have one person go across and create a highline system. And also crossing rivers generally. With what we'll be using this for, you'll be using it on the entrance to the quarry. Have the gear that I will need. You'll need one piece of tubular webbing attached together and a water knot according to our standards for water knots, 2 ropes, and carabiners. So before I start, I always like to have just the gear that I'm going to need on my harness. So I have a piece of tubular webbing attached here and my carabiners on my right hip. However you want to put it together though, whatever works for you. So that being said, let's get started. Right here, I have a ground mat laid out. That's because it's snowy right now and I don't want to have to get my ropes any more wet or snowy than they need to be. Usually you can use a pack or something. I have this ground mat from camping, so I'm using that. The first thing that you're gonna do in this system is you are going to backstack your ropes. Okay, so right here I have my 2 ropes laid out on a ground mat. They are both backstacked. First, I single backstacked and then I double backstacked them and then I single backstacked them again. That's just something that I do personally because that's how I was taught how to do it. I do it the same way every single time, so I tie it the same way every single time. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rope that is going to be my highline and I'm going to find the 2 ends of it. So this. So this is the near end, and this is the far end. Oh. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take the near end or the rope and I'm going to tie an anchor around my near anchor. This is my near anchor. It is 5'5" and alive, and therefore I can use it as an anchor. I'm going to tie my bowline. This bowline does not have to be the testing standards. If I decide to leave it tied, it will be a testable knot. The next thing that's going to happen is I'm going to take the far end of the rope, acting as the assault climber. I'm going to come over to my far anchor and I'm going to tie another bowline. This one does need to be to testing standards. So if you need a reminder on testing standards, that just means that the pigtail has to be the appropriate length and the gap around the anchor needs to be small enough that I can't get my fist in it, so I'm not wasting rope. So I tie this. Then the assault climber notionally would stay over here. However, as I'm tying this by myself today, I'm the assault climber and the person who is tying it, I'm going to leave it here. When you're the assault climber, you're going to want this end of the rope, the end on this anchor, to be slightly lower than the other anchor. That makes it easier for the people coming across. It's a lot easier to go down than it is to go up. So then I'm going to come back here. I'm going to find the edge of my cliff. I'll say the edge of my cliff is notionally right here. I will take the rope and I will create a figure 8 on a slope. Once I have done that, I will take the first of my carabiners. I will put it into the loop at the end. I will then take this rope. I will wrap it around this tree like this. Bring this end back, create a loop, lock this carabiner off, and come back here. Personally, the next thing that I do is I untie this end of the rope. It's secured on this side now, so now I don't have to worry about it. This also makes the next step much easier. I am going to make sure that, as I mentioned earlier, this side is higher than the other side. I am then going to pick up my rope, adjust it a little bit, and I'm going to pull as much slack out of the system as I can. I'm going to pull on the end of the rope pull the slack out of the system. This is easy to do by yourself. I'm then going to take the rope. I personally prefer to pick up as much of the rope as I can so it doesn't become messy. And I'm going to create wraps around the tree. I'm pushing the rope up, which keeps it nice and neat. Over here, I'm going to drop my rope, and I'm going to create a middle of the rope clove hitch on the double line. This is a single rope Highline, but we always create a tagline so it's easier to pull things forth and across. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bottom end of the rope. I'm going to figure out which one that is. I'm going to create a hot point around the base of the tree. A hot point is simply a bowline with a double 8. I'm going to take my first carabiner, I'm going to put it in here in the end of that loop. I am then going to take the other end of my rope. I'm going to tie another 8 with the other end of my rope. I'm going to tie a double 8 and make sure that there are no crosses in the 8. I'm going to tighten it down. Make sure that it is dressed properly and that there is nothing wrong with it. I'm then going to put this back down. I'm going to come up to the Highline. I'm going to take carabiner. I'm going to clip it on here. Make sure that it doesn't slide down or do anything like that. I'm then going to take my webbing. Make sure that there are no crosses tied in it. You can have this pre-tied into a water knot. I'm going to make a basket or a drape, whichever you prefer. I'm going to clip it into the carabiner. I'm going to make sure this carabiner is locked. If any of your carabiners are unlocked, it's an automatic fail. I am then going to take another carabiner and put it in the bottom part of the drape. Then I'm going to reach down. I'm going to take this end of that and put it in there. The tagline is almost complete. You can tie this in any order. This is the order that I tie it in. I'm then going to come back down here. I'm going to find the appropriate area to put my munter in. I'm going to create my munter and I'm going to clip it in here. I am now able to leave this clipped in. Some things about the Highlines. With this carabiner, I always have it facing down. There's a saying in climbing and mountaineering, it's better to screw down than screw up. That means that it's better to have the screw gate the way it screws going down. That's because if you have it this way and for some reason the vibrations end up moving the screw gate, it can come undone. This, however, means that I am able, if the vibrations mess with it, all they're going to do is send it further down. So some testable things and important features about this system: all knots must be within standard, and all parts of knots must be within standard. meaning your figure 8 on a slip must be in standard, your clove, your bowl ends, everything. If you can bend the rope and fully twist your hand up, it is a fail. If you notice this, I'm only able to bend the rope a little bit. As I'm not able to fully bend the rope up, this system is a pass.